What is up, everybody? Welcome to the second video of today. I think there's probably going to be like another video covering some of the platinum pool stuff, which I believe drops today. But I wanted to do a little bit of time, or give a bit of time to Karnak. Now, you know, you can see like I've done the hood, also because it's freaking cold, and I'm just waiting for the heating to come on at some point in the house. I've even gone for a run. That's the problem when you've got, I don't know, your blood flow isn't exactly brilliant. You end up having to like be active all the time in order to get some kind of flow of blood through your body. Just the troubles of living in the UK, very kind of cold place at times. Actually, I think it's our house that's cold. In any case, enough about me, enough about my problems. It's a sad tale I tell, but a familiar one, unfortunately. Right, so Karnak, as a lot of you know, Karnak is buffed. Even though the champion does feel like it is suicide friendly with having the reduced down on the poison damage, it is actually not feeling that way because there's rotations around SP2s in order to get the most damage out of the champion. On the SP2, there's a 100% chance to gain a passive fury effect, increasing attack by 1,200 and an 80 for 30 seconds. Now that's great if you're rotating around there. Bad news is if you're using recoil as a means to kind of like utilize increased damage. I do think the champion is good, but I definitely think that without, if you play it without Suicide Masteries, it is a better champion for you in all actuality. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to throw out some footage in a minute, and that's just my kind of like problem with this. And we'll just go and do a little bit of live play just quickly right now, and you'll see exactly what I kind of like mean. Right? We'll go into a little bit more depth in a minute about the champion, about the idea of maybe kind of like waiting for those focus charges to get up. And also hitting into the champion when indeed he is in a block stance, and how that is beneficial for you. Now I do have the Heimdall Synergy on tap at the moment to give it a little bit more punch and crunch. But you're going to see first of all, like already down to 75% health. Got a recoil right there on the rotation. Now we're down to 69% of the health, and it's just like it just goes to show you like damage speed. The damage speed and momentum with this is there. It's just a case like it's a clunky build. I mean, you can see that we're going into block, getting critical, but it's just like it's pretty weak. Again, we'll kind of like focus that on in a minute after we've kind of done a little bit more kind of hitting in. Again, we're talking about the rotation here. So what are we doing with the rotation? Well, I'm building past and building past again. We've got 3 focus charges up top left hand corner. And now I'm going to again trying to kind of like quickly kind of get to another SP3. We're already down to 55% health. And again, what I'm going to do right here is build past my SP2 and then try and see again if we can just like get this damage speed momentum. The speed and momentum is getting round those to those SP2s as quickly as possible. Down to 46% health with the Suicide Masteries. There's some good enough numbers. I just don't think it's really there. I'm happy with the Suicide Mastery build that I have done. So again, we're quickly trying to rotate round right here. Shooting the third Fury. There's a 30-second timer on them. Again, playing aggressively as possible to rotate around there. You don't have to rotate around there. It's up to you. And I just kind of like eat the damage there. But again, like just to finish this fight off, and just kind of the point I'm trying to make here, it is just like it's sluggish. It's really kind of like it's clunky. It's just not really, it doesn't feel like it's at all a buff, and maybe I need that Heimdall Synergy to just pop off some more damage, but it's definitely kind of like I think it just feels like, ugh, right, okay. Regardless of being hit, and you know, I'm just going to finish up this fight because I just want to quickly. The SP1 does nothing, 7%, recoil damaging like a, you know, a dude. Rank 2 there, 127 hits, just like just a quick play, just messing around, nothing really kind of like serious there. And just kind of going over a few things with this champion. Physical resistance, okay. Block proficiency against basic attacks. Well, yeah, okay. That was sort of there. Does it feel like suicide friendly? No, because at the end of the day, SP3 doesn't really kind of lead to anything. So 100% chance to inflict the disorient debuff, reducing block proficiency by 50% and defense ability accuracy. I mean, it's handy for utility, but there's nothing here that kind of benefits those that run Suicide Masteries. Nebula was ready for that one. The SP1, yeah, it's great if you want to take on champions that auto-block and evade, but it will be a long fight. So if you're looking for an option, and this could be an option against the likes of Penny Parker, that is going into the AQ cycle of season as being one of the lead bosses, could be an option. But it's just that SP2 rotation. If the SP2 rotation is your means of doing damage, and that's the way to go. Then Suicide Masteries do not really kind of benefit from this. So it will be a case of you'll have to run this guy without suicides, and hopefully that's good enough. But it's like, there's some good things to the champion. I'm not going to completely kind of like wipe it off the face of the planet, because it will be an option for people to take against those that are evading. That's the first thing. Do you want to do rotate around, losing those focus charges to inflict the stacking 20-second fragility debuff? Kind of, but it's just, I don't know. There's some stuff here that I'm like, it's alright. It's just, I was hoping for a bit more when it comes to the numbers crunch with stuff, and felt like the damage was really there. These focus charges, 3 focus charges, basic attacks have a 50% chance to inflict their burst of bleed damage, equal to 35% of the damage dealt by the attack, and which is helpful, but it's just like, after time, you kind of look to see if it's dealing any damage, and you go, well, I need suicides to deal more damage when it comes to the focus charges, and the same thing would be applied to the SP2. The problem is, it's not there. So I can imagine non-suicides, it's okay for some interactions with evading based champions and options. It's just a bit of a shame with Karnak, because I was hoping for a bit more. It's good, it's just not there for me when it comes to an option. So that's just like my feeling at the moment with this, and what I've kind of like played with some rotations and stuff. It just hasn't really felt like this is an interesting option. Let's just see if we can illustrate like a point when it comes to the True Strike and how that can be an effective thing. So like we're against like a 4-star Spider-Man right here. Just going to build up to the SP1, just going to get that True Strike and just hit in. So like, first of all, here comes the True Strike. True Strike's on, but the evade kind of like fails pretty nicely. The rotation's so kind of like cool that we can actually get round to a second SP1, so we can kind of like refresh that and just kind of like constantly keep the suppression, and also quickly build back up to the SP1 if we need to. Yeah, okay, I kind of like overcooked that, and I could have like waited a little bit longer to kind of pull the trigger on it. But it's just at that point of going like, okay, well, our refresh kind of like is kind of better and efficient when it takes down evading based champions. So I think as an option against champions that extensively evade, if you're looking for something that's like a cleaner option, then that could be, again, like quite a good option for it. So Karnak does have his usages. And again, the other element to it is doing the intercept heavy attacking, which is like, there's a lot of risk to somewhat of a good reward. It's just one of these cases like, I just kind of like, I'm not messing around with it if indeed something happens. I can't really trust this game with consistency to do that, and that's another element as well to consider. Also, signature ability, hitting into the block builds the power. The higher that you indeed have your level, I mean at the moment on this level 20, this is on my main account by the way, striking the opponent's block grants Karnak 72.71% of power, and a blocked attack would have granted. So that's good, and it can be all about doing that rotation round to suppress down evade based champions. I think as an option for that, it is really good. The rotation's just perfect. But yeah, I don't know, like it's good. It's just one of these cases like, it's not for Suicide Masteries. The rotations for SP2, the damage-wise non-suicide, I haven't really been seeing huge numbers to kind of make me excited about taking it up to rank 3. It's definitely at a case of going like, right, well, I think for me, I won't be ranking it past, if I have to rank it, I may do rank 2. Will I use it as an evade option? Yes. Do I have other evade options? I do, but that's the only kind of like reason for me wanting to kind of utilize it as another kind of anti-evade option or anti-auto-block option. It'll just depend on how, say, Penny Parker drops, whether an option for that. But yeah, there's some good. It's just one of these things where it's just not giving me that extra element of spice on damage that's kind of impressing me, unless I had suicides. But I can't do that with this champion because it just does not work with recoil and rotating around the SP2 for that convenience, unless I want to like sink health potions into it. But what are your thoughts? Put it in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for watching this video on Karnak. We should have some more footage later on, or more kind of coverage on other things that are going on in the game. I appreciate it very much for supporting the content, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.